Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I've got the Mercury Logan Damasteel here with me for a review, and we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this guy. But hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. So let's check this out, because this is an interesting one, guys. Overall length is gonna be 8.2 inches with almost, like I would say, 3.8 inch long blade and roughly 4.4 inch long handle. It's not a small one by any means. If you check, for example, the Ontario Rat number 2 and the Ontario Rat number 1 right up against the Mercury, and you're gonna see that this guy is right in the middle of these two pretty famous boys. Spyderco Para 3 and Spyderco Paramilitary 2 are also like two offerings from Spyderco. You can actually see that Paramilitary 2 is maybe a tad longer than the Mercury, but check out the handle. Like, look at that. And the blade, I mean, the edge of the Mercury is beautiful. This is like very good handle to blade ratio compared, of course, to these two Spydercos. And what else? I'm gonna show you another couple over here. This is the Chris Reeve Knives Small Sebenza 21, and of course you've got the bigger brothers, Large Sebenza 21, both by Chris Reeve Knives, and you can see. The Mercury is a little bit shorter. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter than the Chris Reeve, the large Sebenza 21, but I think that cutting edge is a little bit longer than that. So very interesting. Another couple options here from Custom Knife Factory. Of course, you've got the Philippe Georget 520 over here, and this is the Snaffle, also Custom Knife Factory. These are probably my two favorite knives from them. There's gonna be another one coming in a bit, so stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna anticipate what it's gonna be, but for example, you have Shirogorov. This is the Neon Zero, another very nice blade, and of course a bigger brother of the Shiro Neon is the F95R Slim right over there. I'm gonna show you another couple over here. This is the Spartan Blades Harsey folder with the Chad Nichols Damascus, and here you have your XM18 Hinderer knives, 3.5 inch long, and last, I promise, I'm not gonna show you anything else more. Of course, Koenig Knives Arius Generation 4 Style 55 in the house. So you have the idea, I guess, because this is it's not like a super big knife, but it looks big. I mean, it's not small, of course, by any means, but it's interestingly designed, because that was what caught my attention in the first place. Because if you look at this, I mean, the lines are very clean. I like when the knives are this clean and minimal in the approach, because, for example, this is a titanium liner lock. So you have a G10 scale, absolutely extremely grippy, nicely done, I have to say. You have a nice construction in the back. You see, there's nothing, no standoffs, no backspacer. Basically, the backspacer is integrated with the scale, the lock side scale, which is this guy over here, milled out really nicely. It's a new approach. So basically, you can see that the pivot is just on one side. So this pivot screws in a thread which has been milled out directly from this solid billet of titanium right over here. Very clever solution to keep this side pretty much clean, so you don't see anything going on over here. Of course, you've got these two screws, partially hidden by the pocket clip, which are used to keep the liner in place, and they're protruding a little bit, so that's probably not ideal. I would have shaved, see, those off just to have them flush with the liner, but it's not a big deal as long as it's not in contact with the blade right here. It's gonna be fine. So I was saying you have this pivot. It's a new approach. I really like it because it's keeping very clean look in the back of the knife. And then of course you have just no standoffs. It's just a solid construction. Looks like an integral in a way, but it's of course not. You've got your lanyard hold drilled through the scale, the G10 scale and the titanium right over here. It's a nice approach. Of course, this is a liner lock, so you have steel up against steel, but sometimes you get, you see, a little bit of lock stick. It's nothing crazy. This is just because it's a new one. So you have, yeah, a little bit, see, not all the time, but you don't have a stainless steel insert. You have a natural over travel lock bar stabilizer because this is a liner lock. So of course you've got the detent ball, which is placed to my impression just a tad late. Look at this. This is the angle that right here, the ball bearing, the detent ball is touching the tang of the blade, like in this point. So it is very unusual, and it's very late. It's in an unusual position, so you have to push it down, and this is when the blade tang will touch the detent ball. So very unusual. And I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing that is gonna disrupt the functioning of this knife, but it's just really late. That's it. Of course, you've got your non-protruding, absolutely flush hardware. This is going to be a T10, these are going to be T6, pretty straightforward disassembly. Pop these out and you're done. You're going to see a couple of Teflon washers going on the inside. Very simple construction. You have this thumb disc over here. That's gonna be the only let's say less aesthetically pleasing design accent of the knife, because everything else is pretty well balanced, nice clean lines. I like everything probably except of this disc, but yeah, I mean, it's just me. The pocket clip is a deep carry titanium pocket clip. The tension is very low. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't feel strong at all. It's reversible. You can just unscrew this guy and just reverse it to the like as a left side carry, but the knife is gonna still be needing your right hand. I mean, you can disassemble with you can disengage with left hand, but of course this is for right-handed people. And you have just a very little cutout here in order for you to be able to access this lock bar right over there. And I mean, overall the design is very sleek, nicely chamfered. I like this the back very much, and also what I really appreciate in this case is this pretty cool and very dense twist Damasteel blade with a Warncliffe point right over there, basically 100% belly up to the sharpening choil. You've got a very nice crowning going on. It reminds me a little bit the crowning going on the Sebenza spine. Beautifully done. It's very nice and gets like you have a little bit of flat going on up to here. There's no swedge, but it's nicely done, and you can appreciate like the tip of the blade. It's it's beautiful, nice, really nice geometry, super thin. This is an absolutely fantastic slicer. Look at this, guys. This is crazy thin behind the edge. It's a beautifully designed blade. You have very, very little Mercury Maniago 1950 Italy logo on this side, and Moreno Franzin, which is the designer of this knife, of course. Also, the thumb disc is in Damascus, so it's a really, really nice touch. You can maybe, yeah, you can see. Maybe from this side, you can still see the pattern going on. So it's a nice touch for the blade, which I lately am finding myself to really appreciate the ship's foot, the Wharncliffe. I like them. I don't know why, but it's just me. Also, what I actually enjoy is the sound of this guy, because look at this. How cool is this clack? You also hear maybe a little bit of click here, because there's a little bit of lock stick. When you close it, it's a soft and subdued click, but when you open it, it's a loud clack. See, now no lock stick. That's weird. When you flick it using your thumb, sound is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful clack. It's nice because there's like a resonance effect going on, being created here, because you see the internal space is all confined and wrapped around with the kind of construction that this back has. So to be able to trap the sound right here and create like this resonance when you flick it open, and to create this pretty loud thwack going on, which I honestly enjoy a lot. It's very, very good sound. Also, what I really like actually is the weight, because this guy is gonna be weighing in at 3.2 ounces. So very, very interesting weight. It's very, very light, I have to say, and the ergonomics are also quite good, even if it's like a rectangular shape. So there's not much really any ergonomics going on, no finger grooves, it's just like a straight line. But I have to say, there's no hot spots. It's not like super comfortable in the hand, but it's not even bad. I mean, it feels actually good. It feels a little bit, you see, you can feel it's flexing a little bit, so it doesn't feel like absolutely sturdy or robust in the hand, but it's a slim one, it's a sleek one, it's elegant, so it's not meant to be abused or like to do any crazy batoning or a hardcore job, but it's solidly built, I have to say. There's nothing out of place. Fit and finish, I would have preferred to be a little bit better, because I don't know if you guys can see, but here is kind of flush. You don't really feel it, but at the end, you see, you can actually feel that there's a little bit of lip here, which is not present here. So there's a little bit of fit and finish issue right over here. The pocket clip, you see, it's, if I extend it, it doesn't touch the, see? I have to push it, so that's not like the best approach in designing the pocket clip. It's nice, you know, the idea, because you can just reverse it like really, really easily, but that's probably another little issue. There's a little bit of lock stick sometimes. Not all the time, so that's weird. But the deployment speed also, it's okay. I mean, it's slow because it's a thumb disc on Teflon washer, so it's not like a fast flipper running on bearings for sure. But I have to say, it's smooth. You have the detent ball, which is a little bit late. You're not gonna be able to touch the tip of the blade because it's nicely protected by this integrated backspacer. Let's call it that way. No rattling, when shaken, so it's nicely put together. You're gonna have a little bit of cutout here to release the lock bar, so it's doable. It's nothing difficult to do. There's of course no stainless steel insert because this is steel on steel, even if it's steel on Damasteel. You see, there's no lock stick now, but there's now and not now. So that's something interesting to explore. You don't have a hard step because you have a detent ball ramp going on. Pivot is very, very cleverly designed, so it's a plus for me. Great and clean look on the back, 100%. Nice 3 fullers going on. It's beautifully designed. There's of course no free fall, no guillotine effect. You're gonna have to wiggle it strongly to be able to close the blade. There's basically no detent suction going on over here. I mean, overall, it's a very elegant, nicely designed with some Italian flair kind of knife. And being Italian, I can see that I appreciate this design. There's some flaws, of course. This is not a perfect one, but I like it. It's nice and elegant. It's balanced. It's innovative, and it has some pretty cool sound and very, very cool design in it. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.